to absolutely avoid on your Zepbound weight loss journey and absolutely to have on your weight loss journey. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping. I've actually lost over 108 pounds the last 2.5 years of being on GLP-1 medication with Zepbound, Mounjaro, and Tirzepatide compound. The combination of those is because of the different shortages. And on today's episode, there was a new article that came out. I will cite my source down in the description link below, talking about foods that will sabotage your Zepbound weight loss journey if you're at a weight plateau, or foods you really want to have more of, and learning to make these lifestyle changes. And so without further ado, I want to go ahead and dive in. I was fascinated by this. It was from Medical News Today. And I don't know about you, I feel like I could write the book and join the club on all of the different foods for like diets, having been on every single diet known to man and starting my first diet when I was 10 years old. So like literally diet, food, culture, not a huge fan. Have had to definitely deprogram a lot of that. But I thought these were really great suggestions depending on where you are on your Zepbound journey. If you're just starting or all the way up if you're into maintenance and everywhere in between, I found this super helpful for me. Like, oh yeah, I need that reminder. So this came out from Medical News Today. It says the article is what to eat while on Wegovy, and in reference it has like medical reviews along with it as well, which I very much appreciated. With that, I'm taking it into the Zepbound territory, but we're including it's Wegovy based, but I'm including our Zepbound, Mounjaro, Tirzepatide brothers and sisters into this. So let's dive in. So one of the first ones that they talked about in this article of what not to have and what to have was, and I was fascinated by this, was talking about high fiber vegetables. And so that got me thinking. I was like, first I was like, no duh, like I know that, you know that. At 10 years old, I learned that. Like, counting my Weight Watchers points, I knew that. Like, we know that, right? Like, if you're in the morbid obesity or obesity club or overweight club, you have known that. Eat more vegetables. Okay, thank you. But how do we do that? And the blessing with GLP-1 medication, the things to think about that I made a little cheat sheet for you with this. And if you can't read it, it's okay. It's more so for me to make sure I talk about it. With the like high fiber vegetables, if you are having constipation, making sure you're getting high fiber vegetables. It blows my mind for people who say, oh, I'm constipated. And in my free encouragement group, which is countessofshopping.com/group, I'll link that down in the description link below. How's it going with your vegetables? And they're like, oh, I'm not really having any. And I'm like, do you think that might help the constipation? Right? Like, so just some of these things for me going back into this, it seemed so basic. But then when I started to take a non-emotional self-inventory and self-appraisal of my food by doing a food log, it was really, really helpful to be like, oh, no wonder I can't poop. It's because I haven't had a vegetable in a couple of days. You see what I'm saying? And that could be because of appetite suppression. So that's the first thing of thinking about with these food choices from my experience, strength, and hope. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare provider. I don't pretend to play one on the internet. I will always punch you to all the professionals who have the degrees and have the actual, like, that is their job. For me, sharing this to help punch you to the professionals is my job. So talking about appetite suppression, it's really hard to get in a lot of vegetables though when you're really, really full. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Maybe I should make that a t-shirt. I can't eat all my vegetables because I'm too stinking full on GLP-1. So how does one eat vegetables when you're full? Well, let's go back to the data. The data tells us on day 1 and day 2, well, really, for me, I'll use my own data, and then we'll talk data. But for me, it's 24 hours to 48 hours is peak appetite suppression from when I take my shot. So meaning day 5, day 6, day 7, that is when I am hungrier and I have less appetite suppression. So when I'm hungrier, guess what's good to add in as filler? Those high fiber vegetables. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, I didn't know how to cook high fiber vegetables and what ones I liked. I just thought a lot of them were gross. And can you hear that? Like, that's me being like a teenager being like, that's gross. Or like a kid, that's gross. But literally, that was kind of my approach to some of these high fiber vegetables. So what I want to challenge you today is to try, and this is like, take my vegetable challenge. Try a new vegetable this week, and I want you to tell me which one you're going to try down below or reincorporate it into your diet this week. Is it leafy green vegetables, bell peppers, carrots, peas, sweet potatoes. There's others, but those are just some. What makes the best sense for you? My kid he's at summer camp right now, and they served at lunch peas, and he was cracking up because I never served peas. And he had not, I don't think he had had peas since he was like little. And he's like, Mom, I had these circle green things today. And I was like, peas? I felt like I lost my mom badge. I'm like, oh, my kid doesn't know what peas are. But I just don't serve them because I don't really like them. But you know what I'm going to do this week? I'm going to talk the talk and walk the walk. I am going to have peas. But factoring that in, we know we're supposed to eat more vegetables, but factoring it into our appetite is number one. Number two of our like do's and don'ts is the side effects with that. So one of the other things that it talks about in here is whole grains like oats, quinoa, brown rice. We talk a lot here at Countess of Shopping about protein because protein's so helpful, but beta glucan is so helpful. It's in with the oats. And one of the absolute things I am obsessed with that has beta glucan in it, which is really, really good for monitoring blood sugars, it has prebiotic in it as well, is Gem Bites. They are my daily bites that I am obsessed with. I absolutely love Gem Bites because they have a ton of different ingredients included in them. And that's something for what I do have on a daily basis, even when I'm completely like so appetite full. Gem Bites are so helpful. They have citrus flavor on them, quinoa in them, and you can see a ton of different ingredients, but that beta glucan in there, so incredibly helpful, so incredibly helpful. And so I love these. I typically, you can have them, by the way, they have ginger in them. Let me open up a fresh pack so you can see what they look like. Having the ginger in them is helpful when my tummy hurts. Having the prebiotics in them is super, super helpful too. Particularly if you are constipated or having diarrhea, constipation, nausea, or vomiting, the four most common gastrointestinal ones that happen with, like, look at that. It actually, look, you can see right there. It actually has like real pumpkin seed. It's real food. It is real food. And so I am completely obsessed with Gem Bites. It's one of the things on the foods that I absolutely do have every day because it is so beneficial, because it has in there those ingredients in which I want, like beta glucan in there as well. The ginger, the spices, and you can go through and see all of them. Chickpea with the vitamin, I need better glasses. Apparently it's time for my glasses to be checked. I knew it was it's K2 and I almost just said K12, but you can see it's got all these great ingredients in there as well, and they taste good to me. They taste really, really good to me. So run and get yours. I highly recommend dailygem.com/queen, QUEEN. Use the discount code QUEEN for your first month to receive a very generous discount for the Countess of Shopping community. Gem Bites has been very kind to us to give us a discount. Thank you, Gem Bites. So go to dailygem.com/queen, use that discount code QUEEN. I'll link it in the description link below. And that is one that I do want to have. Ones that I don't want to have, foods I want to avoid and steer clear of that cause more side effects. And for each one of us, that's going to be different. In particular for Zepbound, with my experience, strength, and hope, is when I titrate up. That first week, second week, boom. And if you're going right now from Zepbound 7.5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, 12.5 milligrams, 15 milligrams, but for me, it was 10 milligrams higher, side effects became more. And so that is my experience, strength, and hope. For you, you very well may not experience that at all. But with that higher dose, I did have diarrhea, nausea, constipation, and vomiting. I had never vomited or had nausea until I hit Zepbound 15 milligrams. Then boom. But the foods to avoid with that are what is causing that. So some of those things to look at in terms of foods to avoid: fried and high-fat foods, French fries, fried chicken, full dairy products, fatty cuts of meat. I literally had my shot 2 days ago. I told you my peak appetite suppression, 24 hours, 48 hours. It's around the 48-hour mark. I met my friend in Middleburg here in Virginia. We went out and we got started with a charcuterie board, a hummus board with like crudité on there. And then I ordered for my lunch like a steak salad bowl. And I just wanted to pick and then take leftovers. I had not eaten at all. It was, what time was it? Noon. That was a mistake for me. Food to avoid, and I'm going to say this and be embarrassed with myself, but I'm saying it to hopefully help encourage you. That was not a wise choice for me to start off with a heavy meat like salami and cheeses full fat stuff, full fat cheeses. I love full fat cheeses. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love them. But not as my quote breakfast. Why? Because I was really not hungry at all. It was noon. I had not eaten a thing. I had had a decaf coffee earlier. I had that, and then I had the crudité. I was mortified. If you know the Salamander in Middleburg, it's a high-end resort, and I almost pooped my pants. I almost pooped my pants. It was so embarrassing. I'm like, I know better. I'm literally on the internet talking to people for years now after the last 2.5 years of losing over 108 pounds about encouraging people with GLP-1 medication. I know not to eat that for my first meal, but here we are. And ironically, I was with a high school friend who I hadn't seen in a while. It had been years since I had seen her. And so I didn't want to be like, oh, hey, friends, I'm about ready to poop my pants at the table. So I'm telling you that, embarrassing myself. If my kid or my hot husband were ever to see this video clip pulled, I'm being like, I almost pooped my pants at the Salamander. So embarrassing. Like, that is a food to avoid for me. And so particularly when I'm first eating. And so then you may say, okay, well then what would be a gentle, good meal to have? But I want to go through some of the other don'ts. And by the way, this is the other thing I want to say. It burns my grits. We can have, I'll use my I statements. I can have anything. This is one of the best parts about GLP-1. I can have anything. But sometimes there is a consequence for those choices. But I can have any foods if I'm willing to deal with sometimes the potential consequences of those or side effects from it that are self-induced. That was self-induced. That was not smart. I should have had a little nibble of something before I met to go meet my friend. I just wasn't really thinking about it. And I also had a Diet Coke too. And you guys know I don't really drink caffeine. And well, oh geez, no, if you just met me, hi friends, we're talking about poop on the internet and we just met. But if we've been OGs know that like, I don't really drink a lot of caffeine. So having a Diet Coke, woo! That I think also the caffeine on it made it first thing for me. That was also not the best choice either. Health goals and then lifestyle changes. Are these food choices? I can have any food, because I now have the ability to put my fork down and say stop. Whereas before GLP-1 medication, I didn't have that choice. So hearing these like do's and don'ts, I want to say you can have anything you want. There are really no do's and don'ts, full stop. But is it supporting and aiding in my lifestyle changes? Because for me, this is not a fad drug. I don't want to get off the medication. I wish and my desire is to be on GLP-1 the rest of my life with the information I have right now. Is it promoting my lifestyle changes in which I want to make? Is it helping me be stronger with lifting? Like doing really active exercises? Is it helping promote physical activity? Is it helping with my bones and my heart and my cells and my organs? Is it going back to all of those lifestyle changes in which I want to really heavily focus in on? And sometimes for party stuff and things like that, the intention is to have fun and be in a party. I mean, that's on vacation, it was to have fun, right? Like, but I need to be making positive choices the majority of the time and then have some fun in between there too. So some of the other things that definitely set me off, fried foods, definitely full fat dairy for me is like Revenza, Montezuma, sweets and desserts like pastries, cakes, things like that. Obviously, because our blood sugars, regardless if you're on Mounjaro or Ozempic, my experience is blood sugars change so much. My blood panels have changed so much. And so for our non-type 2 diabetes friends too, like so many changes, so many changes. And so having sweets and desserts, is that having a couple, great. But more than that, is that in line with my lifestyle changes in which I want to make? Because there is no guilt shame combination around food, right? Food does not have a moral. It makes me bananas when I do my what and I eat in the day and people come across of like, it's a moral failing to have like a cookie. No, it's not. For me, it's not. You do you, and this is where I want to be. You do you and what best supports you that helps in alignment with making those goals to make those permanent lifestyle changes. Because again, for me, this is not a fad diet. I want this to be permanent lifestyle changes of this is simply who I am, is somebody who is healthy and is not that obese person anymore. Obese person before did eat thousands and thousands and thousands of calories in a given day. And for me, having things like cookies, sweets, desserts, highly processed foods, fried foods, teas and drinks with high sugar content in them, Alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I haven't had a sip of alcohol in 19 years, so that doesn't really apply to me. But I know for other people, because the studies have shown, they're actually testing it so much for alcoholism to help recovering alcoholics with alcoholism, which is crazy, by the way. But so true, so true about that brain-body connection. So those are some of the foods to avoid with Zepbound. Foods to, and like water, beverages, of having water. For me, I like to have electrolytes as well in addition to my water. But having things like beans, lentils, nuts, seafood. I like seafood because, and I know many people don't, I like it because it's a leaner protein and it doesn't give me as many side effects. Now, fish can be stinky. I don't want to go to the office and have a fish and like make the whole office smell like stinky fish. Not that I work from home, but I have had that where I used to work in an office and be like, oh my gosh, I completely smelled up the whole office building because I had so like being judicious about where I consume my seafood as well. But I love seafood because it's leaner and it has a ton of protein in it, and that protein goes back to helping me with building muscle. Like that's so important focus for me. Eggs, same thing, has a great protein in it. Oily fish like salmon, tuna, mackerel. I venture to say just fish in general. Oily fish, great. That's awesome. But for me, I'll take any kind of fish. I really do like fish quite a bit. Lean meats, like lean cuts of beef or pork, poultry, like chicken or turkey. I love me some 99% lean turkey. I really do. I like having that just in my freezer, already pre-cooked, ready to go, and then I can top that in to make it a wrap or put some tzatziki sauce on it. I'm saying that wrong? My Greek brothers and sisters correct me. It's not tzatziki, it's tzatziki. Is that right? With a little bit of lettuce, tomato, maybe some pickled onions in there, and I like a high protein wrap. Delicious. And it talks in here about like fruits, berries, apples, cantaloupe, peaches, avocados. That's one thing in our free encouragement group. What fruits are you into? You guys told me in the free encouragement group, Rainer cherries. I literally just bought them yesterday evening. I cannot wait to have them later tonight. I'm like so excited about it. I never would have tried a Rainer cherry had it not been a suggestion from a fellow countess. Many countesses, actually. It was more than one. It was like, you need to try Rainer cherries. I'm like, okay. They were great. Another fruit that we tried that my kid really liked, it was plums and cherries together. I forget what they're called. They're only in season in July. One of y'all told me about it. It was at my Publix grocery haul video, which you can go back and binge watch a whole bunch of my videos. That was one of them. So based on studies, these lists of food for people with anti-obesity medications of how helpful they are. And in terms of if you're having meal replacement products, the study also found making sure that they have 15 to 25 grams of protein per serving. And it talks about having less processed foods with like protein bars, protein shakes, things like that. I still like to incorporate those into my lifestyle because to me, that is healthier than getting a McDonald's hamburger when I'm out and about. Because here's the deal, I'm a mom, I'm in my car a lot. I know many of you are too, going to soccer practice and soccer games and going to lessons and school pickup. And as a mom, like I'm in my car a lot. But that may be very different from your lifestyle. Maybe you're retired, or maybe, you know, like, see what I mean? Or maybe you commute to work, and so you're in your car even more than I am, or whatever. Matching our lifestyle goals and our health goals to what we're looking to achieve. For me, it's having less processed food and having real food. But I do have protein shakes and I do have protein bars and I do. And so does the Count. The Count and I really, we're just talking about that. We're like, we really do enjoy these, but it's better than what it was. Like literally it was like, I look at this and I'm like, oh my gosh, that woman is tough. She is strong. Look at her. Just, I am so proud of that. So proud of that. But it talks in here about when you can't have whole foods, do you have meal replacements and lining those up? That was an important part of it too. And limiting alcohol and caffeine. I do limit caffeine, but because I talk much faster. And you guys tell me I'm tired. I was laughing so hardcore. Cloaky made a comment a couple videos back, was like, raise your hand if you like Elizabeth on, Elizabeth is over caffeinated. I'm like, how'd you know? How did you know, Cloaky? I'm like one of those horse racers when I have too much caffeine. Anyone else? Just me? It goes in here talking about Eating foods with high water content such as cucumbers, tomatoes, and melons. I had yesterday, no joke, and if Glow's watching, I was thinking about one of my besties. You guys are my besties, Bestie Glow. We were talking about watermelon, and recently here in Virginia, there has been a great stretch of great watermelon. And so I literally had, did you know how many calories is in 1 cup of watermelon? You want to venture to guess? I'll wait. You can type it in the comments. Tell me in the comments what your guess is. Who's ever closest without going over? We'll do Price's Right rules. 47 calories. 47 calories. Y'all, I had 3 cups of watermelon, which is huge, by the way. That is a huge portion. And it has so much water in it. I had to go to the bathroom so much afterwards in a good way because of the water in it. Under 150 calories. Y'all, 3 cups under 150 calories. Check, please. Yes. Like things like that go back to making these permanent lifestyle changes. I was so proud of myself. On appetite suppression, some of you I know are hearing me say, oh my gosh, she just had 3 cups of watermelon. I can never do that. That used to be me, but my appetite has changed. So if you're just starting off or you recently titrated up, for me, my body has become more acclimated with different doses. And so like eating more in different pockets, I've been on Zepbound 15 milligrams for over a year plus now. So my appetite from when I first started Zepbound 15 milligrams is certainly different from where it is now. Because my body, it's not that the medication's not working, my body's just gotten more acclimated to it. So my encouragement for you is finding high water content vegetables once you get on the vegetable pathway. Which one of those, like cucumber, tomatoes, melons? If they're saying melons is, oh, they didn't say vegetables. They said foods with high water content. So I was going to say, aren't melons fruits, not vegetables? Going over, they're talking about eating times and mining portions. To-go boxes are one of the best things ever. Little glass containers to put your leftovers in are the best things ever. Having those little containers, best things ever. So if I don't eat all of these portions, going back to my appetite component of it, great, we can have it tomorrow. Leftovers, it saved me so much money eating these leftovers and saving the food. Like if I get a meal portion that's just too big, really being mindful about portions and avoid skipping meals. And this was one of the other big components of more studies are showing having smaller meals, like eating smaller, like 4 times a day, 5 times a day, 6 times a day, of how that for GLP1 patients can be beneficial of just having little food, like taking that portion you normally have and cutting it in half. Some days for me, I do like to fast, but I have to be mindful when I break that fast to not have things like a charcuterie board with cheeses, salamis, things like that. That didn't fare well for me. And not skipping meals because then I will eat more sometimes than I need to. Not all the times, but sometimes. In particular, that's day 5, day 6, day 7. And I also found as I started to exercise and lift more, I needed to eat more. And on countessofshopping.com, I'll link it down below of your calorie calculator of how many calories you should be eating in a day. And I don't like to should on anybody, so take what you could decide if you choose to do that, talking with your own healthcare provider. But it's a free resource for you to have a ballpark of if you're working out and super active or when you're not. And for me, learning when I'm not active, how many calories that should be in an approximate day. Versus when I'm heavily working out, how many calories should that be? Because I got way too daggone hungry working out, and it led to me eating a ton of food, and I felt really crappy about myself because I was eating way more food than I thought, but it was the wrong calorie amount. It should have been more because I was working out more. And that seems very basic, but I'm here to tell you it was not basic for me. It was not basic for me. Being patient and consistent. This took a long time to put the 300 pounds on. It's gonna take a hot second. It's been 2.5 years and I'm still continuing. I'm not one of those stories of like, oh, I have like twiggy legs now and I'm wearing size 0. That is not the case for me. I'm size 14, 12 bottoms and size medium top and still trucking towards a lot of health goals, which I'm so excited about. So my beautiful friends, I want you to do, if you want to look up all of our items that we talked about in today's show, go to that, click that ... more button. It's down in the description link, and click the more button again. It will show you all the links that I'm talking about in today's video. You can go to dailygem.com/queen, use the discount code QUEEN to get my favorite gem bites. I'm obsessed with them. They're absolutely delicious and so, so helpful on the GLP-1 diet. In addition, our emoji of the day today is going to be a pink flamingo. And people say, how do you pick your emojis of the day? It's because it's just what I feel like. And I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care. If you made it this far in the video, you probably liked my content and we probably jive. So I want to know you. Like, I do this because I sincerely care so much about our community. If you want to join the free encouragement group, it's also down below and countessofshopping.com/group. Emoji of the day is pink flamingo. It's also my bat signal to pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought because all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table. My beautiful friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. I love you guys so super much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.